Hello and welcome. It's been a while now since I did a video review, but after a month I've finally got some sort of recording software sorted. I used to use Reflector to do these videos, but I've been having problems with that lately because of iOS 9. So I've got a new one on trial now that I did use before, but it wasn't very good because it didn't have a recording function, but now it does. So I'm going to try it again and hopefully this video will be decent, and if it does, then we'll be using this more often. It's AirSaver is what I'm using, so we'll see how this works. Now then, wars. Obviously not done a war review for a while, about a month. That's because we had push for 2 weeks, or more or less a month. Officially it was 2 weeks, and also on top of that we had the problem with, or I had the problem with the recording software. So hopefully we're going to solve that now, and we're going to have a look at the war log. 146 war wins we have now. We've lost 19 now. As you can see from the war log here, looks great overall. Lots and lots of green lines. But recently we had a spell of 4 wars where we lost 3 out of 4. I don't want people to get too worried about that. At the time we were a bit depressed. And then we got the War Addicts War, which was a great win against a really good Fair Play clan that we beat 99-86. But before that, we had 3 wars out of 4, which we lost. Now, lately, the matchups have been absolutely horrible lately. The Hong Kong, Filipinas, and the Caird Brother Wars were absolutely huge mismatches. I mean, we used to suffer from mismatches before, but they were only slight mismatches, and we were able to overcome them in most wars because, we have good attackers, we're a good clan, so it didn't matter. But recently we've been getting these wars where they've just got so many maxed heroes and so many extra Town Hall 10s than us, it's been impossible to overcome them. I mean, the Hong Kong war, as you see there, they had, I think, 4 extra Town Hall 10s, and they had something like 15 or 14 people with maxed heroes. In a 30v30, we had 4 people with maxed heroes. We lost by 7. They also did a few naughty raids, as I'll call them, make of that what you will. Clash Filipinas, they didn't do any naughty raids, but we drew with them and lost on percentage. Those guys had 5 extra Town Hall 10s than us, and again, they had like 14 people with maxed heroes. We had 2 people with maxed heroes in that war. So again, another huge mismatch that we couldn't really do much about. We won the one against Berlin. I think that was actually a mismatch in our favour, that one. And then Caird Brother, we lost that one by only 4 stars. They actually had, I think they had 9 more Town Hall 10s than us. And to be honest, it's that they weren't rush Town Hall 10s. I mean, I think they only had 1 Town Hall 10 that actually had level 1 Infernos. The rest had maxed Infernos, I think. And again, they had like 10, 11, 12 people with maxed heroes, 40 heroes. I think we had 3 people in that war. So yeah, some massive mismatches really that we couldn't do anything about. So I mean, those last 3 defeats really not a lot we could do about. But it's really annoying that actually, it does make a lot of people in the clan a bit pissed off and a bit, depressed about it, because it has spoilt our war log. And it's really not our fault because there's absolutely nothing we could do about them. Just massive mismatches. And to be honest, for how we did, we actually did very, very well in all those mismatches. I would say none of those clans we lost to were anywhere near as good as us, to be honest. The Hong Kong one, they were doing naughty raids, so, can't really do anything about that at all. And then, yeah, just massive mismatches. So hope people don't worry too much about that. War Addicts War, we got back into the swing of things. It was probably one of our best wars ever, but I was a bit worried that we weren't going to do too well because people were a bit down and stuff. Then we had a 35v35 against China. Again, another mismatch actually, China. Same amount of Town Hall 10s. I think we might have had 1 more Town Hall 10. But they had a lot more maxed heroes, but they just weren't very good. And then another one, same amount of Town Hall 10s against the Chinese clan. We won 46-45, but again, lots more maxed heroes than us and a lot more maxed bases than us. It is really annoying at the moment because it means that in the small wars, we don't really want to have small wars because we're just outmatched all the time. And to be outmatched in a 40v40 is one thing, but in a 20v20, they're not even going to need that. Like in this war, they didn't even need their Town Hall 9s. They just 3-starred all our Town Hall 9s with Town Hall 10s. And that left us, well, they fucked up and we won by 1 star because they didn't 2-star all our Town Hall 10s. But here are the stats. Let's move on to the war then. 46-45. They didn't use their last attack. 6 3-stars for us, 7 3-stars for them. They actually 3-starred our bottom Town Hall 10. You can see they got 2 1-stars and we got 14 2-stars. We 2-starred all the 10s, 3-starred all the 9s, and that won us the war. Now, let's have a look. The war events, yeah, late on we got a lot of stars late on to win this war. I think we actually 3-starred 4 of their guys really late on. I defended against their number 8. It was really close at the end and we actually won by 1 star. We weren't expecting to win this because, you know, we'd had a few days, a few things happened that really annoyed us in clan and we were a bit down about a few things, but we did this war despite maybe a lot of people not being too keen on the small war, but we did it anyway and we won. So let's have a look. Yeah, let's have a look at this, the war attacks. We'll start with Sabe on number 1. So here we go. Like I say, I hope this recording software is going to work well. We shall see. And we're trying not to keep this video too long because it was only a 20v20. It was just a small war. I'm going to talk a little bit actually about what we're doing in future to avoid these small wars. As many will know, some don't know because they're new members, but as a lot will know, we had a couple of 15v15s quite a while ago now, because we were chasing experience points. Now the problem was we got mismatched, or in one of them we had a bad start, and it was hard to come back from that. There were long periods in those wars where nothing was happening because there was only 15 people in it. When it did come down to trying to organise people, because it needs more organising, people need to attack in a specific order in small wars. It was very difficult to get people to do that with people being from all over the world. People didn't enjoy that war, so after enjoy both those wars. So after the 15, we lost both of them as well, of course. After those 15v15s, we decided as a clan we didn't want to do those anymore because they weren't enjoyable and they were a lot of hard work. So most of the wars after that were probably 25v25 and higher. Now, of course, this week we had the problem we only had 17 people opted in for war. Because of push, we had a lot of people upgrading heroes because we do mandatory war week and optional war week. It was optional war week and we'd had 4 weeks, a month or more, of people not being able to upgrade heroes. So it just happened that everybody was upgrading at the same time. So we ended up with not enough people in. So basically we didn't want to do a war unless we had enough, unless we had 20 or more. That caused a bit of, I don't know, what's the word, probably confusion at why we weren't having a war. But the reason was basically because we'd agreed with most of the members who didn't want 15v15, we weren't going to do 15v15. So basically, you know, we didn't. We waited a day and we ended up with this one in the 20v20. It was still pretty tough, but it was much better than having a 15v15 in my opinion. It's another good raid there by Rhino. That was at a very crucial time, I think, when he got that 2-star. He is easy rocking. Yeah, so the changes we've made now is we're no longer going to do the optional mandatory war weeks. What we're going to do now is we're going to say everybody can upgrade heroes whenever they want. But what we do want is we're still not going to have people in war that are upgrading heroes. That's not an option. If you're upgrading heroes, you're not in war. But instead of everybody doing it the same week, people can now upgrade heroes whenever they want. This doesn't mean they can constantly upgrade heroes. We still want people to be in war 1 week out of 2. We just don't care which week they decide to upgrade. This hopefully will mean that we will always have 20 people or more in war. sorry, 20 people, 30 people or more in war, because the best wars are usually 30, 35. That's a decent number. It's easier to get a match. It's easier to organise, and people are happier with that, I think. So that change, hopefully, is going to make things easier. If you don't quite understand it or know what I'm talking about, just ask in chat. But hopefully it's going to make things better for us. And we won't have to have any more breaks in war because of not having enough people. So let's watch Easy Rocking on number 4. We've already seen Easy. We've already seen Rhino. Major Guernsey. Let's have a look at Major on number 6. So we're going to talk about the war a little bit more now. Now I've talked about the recent matchups and talked a little bit about the changes we've made to the hero upgrades. So here's a war attack by Major Guernsey. He had 2 very good attacks. He did very well this war, Major. Very late on we had a number of attacks. I think we had Sabe did 2 attacks, Major Guernsey did an attack, Peter did an attack, who was the other one? Blue, I think, did an attack. I think we had either 5 or 6 2-stars in a row on Town Hall 10s, but not on the lower ones. These were on high up maxed Town Hall 10s. And I think this sort of changed the war for us, because we were struggling a bit, and then this happened and we got those stars. And this meant that we had lower Town Hall 10s. We knew then that we were going to have like 6, 7 spare Town Hall 10 attacks that we could use on Town Hall 9s, and also try and 3-star the bottom Town Hall 10 if we needed to. In the end we didn't need to, but we would have had in the end, after 2-star in all the 10s and 3 in all the 9s, we would have had, I think we had something like 6 attacks left to go for 3 stars on number 14. Let's have another look. Let's have a look at Blue on number 9. So yeah, we did well in the end. It was a bit of a stuttery start, but these wars, like I say, 20v20, it's always going to be like that. If you get a few fails, things do start to look a bit rough. And it was mostly at Town Hall 9, I think, we had quite a lot of, I won't call them fails, but we had a lot of raids at the start, the Town Hall 9s, which were like 99%, 98%, 97%, running out of time or not quite getting enough of the base or things like that, that just meant we didn't quite get those 3 stars. And then it ended up that the Town Hall 9s, I think, had only gotten 1 3-star out of the 6 towards the end. But then May came on. He got a 3-star. He 3-starred 2 of the bases with Wes as well. A new guy, Ares, or whatever he was called, who we did kick in the end because he just wasn't active enough. But he did get 2 3-stars. He 3-starred the 2 bottom ones. And then a couple of Town Hall 10s, we finished off their Town Hall 9s. But it was, it was a good performance in the end. It was a very hard-fought victory at the end. We had to come back, and we had to get, we did have to rely on them as well, because they did have a lot of Town Hall 10, max Town Hall 10 attacks. And at the end, it did look like they were going to have a lot of leftover attacks to deal with our Town Hall 10s. But they ran out of attacks. They did actually fail a few max hero attacks on some of the lower bases. They couldn't 2-star me, and they couldn't 2-star Easy Rocking. We're quite lucky actually, because the guy who didn't 2-star me, he actually dropped 2 rage spells on top of each other by accident. If he hadn't have done that, we would have lost. But saying that, they also had some weird attacks where, I don't know, maybe they were naughty attacks, I'm not sure, but they did do a couple of Town Hall 9 raids for 0% and 2% on Wesley and Wells, and then lo and behold, like 4 or 5 hours later, their maxed hero guy was trying 3-star strategies on them, which, maybe it's nothing, but I found that very, very suspect when they just, drop a barb or whatever, and yeah, then the next minute they're going for 3 stars. This was one of the raids of the war. Wesley with a mass drag. Now, we'd actually hit this base, I think we'd hit this base 5 times. without 2-starring it. No, 4 times I think without getting 2 stars with go wide. So then Wesley with mass drag, or actually Mayfair with mass drag. But this was a really interesting raid because it's a base that we see quite often. So in future, this is probably the way to do it. And to be fair, we struggled like hell on this base, and then this was just so easy. So easy. Absolutely wrecked it. 60 something %. So I think that this was actually the attack of the war. Really enjoyed that, and it was very late on as well because we were a bit worried that on number 11 we weren't going to get the 2 stars, because it was quite clear by then that if we did 2-star all the town or 10s, we would probably win. But it was looking a bit rough. Here's Matt on number 12. This was quite an early raid on this base. So yeah, another thing with these wars that are a bit tough is actually getting everybody, like I said, organised. It was coming down to the end. We only had 30 minutes left. I had a few attacks. I had 2 attacks. We had a lot of people waiting on other people to see if where we needed to attack, the more flexible members. We were waiting for Broom because we needed him on number 10. Mayfair hadn't done his second attack or Wesley's attacks, and there was only half an hour left of war. So things were looking a bit rough and it was a bit stressful. But we came through in the end, and yeah, it was a great win. But for people who do wonder why we don't like the small wars, I think it was pretty obvious this war why. It was really hard work. It was absolutely epic when we won. I mean, it was an amazing feeling winning this war, as it always is with close wars. Yeah, but there we go. Maya raid on... this was... No, I'm not going to show this. This was a 3-star attempt. We'd already 2-starred that base, so we were going for 3 stars. 14, we were going for 3 stars there, so I'm not going to show that. Now then, what we're going to show on the town hall 9s. Butter on number 16. This, I think, was one of only 2 town hall 9 3-stars. Other than the RS 3-star in the bottom 2. But he's gone, so I'm not going to show those. This was a very nice raid by Butter. They're town hall 9 bases. Some of them were anti-3-star, some of them weren't, but they were all, apart from the bottom one, apart from their number 20, they were all pretty well upgraded. We've gone, 18 minutes into the video now, so yeah, 20 minutes, that should do it for this video. I'm going to show one more raid after this. I'll show Mayfair's 3-star. Then we'll wrap it up, we'll name some war heroes, and that'll be it. And then we'll get on with sorting tonight's war, which should be a 30v30. At least. This was a very nice raid by Butter. These small wars are also a bit, well, I don't know. It doesn't fit. Feels like it's most of the clan are missing, if you know what I mean. So it feels a bit, yeah. Anyway. So Butter there, number 17, Mayfair. Let's watch this one. I don't think really there's any other town hall 9 attacks to show. There are only 6 town hall 9s for each team in this. Mayfair did 2 of them. No, Mayfair did 1, Butter did 1, Arez, the new guy, he did 2. So that was 4. And then I think Wesley did the other 2, so that was 6. So we did do 4 out of the 6 with town hall 9s. It did take quite a bit of doing to get them. This was May. This was a very good raid on number 17. Was it number 15 and 17? No, 16 and 17 were the ones May and Butter did. 15, I think Mayfair attacked early and got 99%. And I think it was Butter who got or was it JW got 97% on this base earlier. So it's not like Town Hall 9s didn't do very well, it was just we didn't quite get the percentage to finish them off. The problem was the enemy having such high level Town Hall 10s that basically they didn't need their Town Hall 9s to 3-star us, they just did it with Town Hall 10s. Sort of takes away our main strength really, which, yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that our main strength, where we sort of shooting ourselves in the foot really, taking away our strengths and weakening ourselves basically. Guillermo did 18, not Wes, 19 was RS and 20. So yeah, that's it. It was a great win. Really, really good effort at the end. It was a very stressful war. Took a lot out of us. Like I say, hopefully in future there won't be any more small ones and we'll do 30v30, 30v30 and higher. That's not to say there'll be no more stressful wars. Most wars are quite stressful, but hopefully a little bit less stressful than that. We just want to get wars that aren't decided on matchup. We'd like wars to be decided on skill, to be honest, because we usually win those ones. So let's have a look. Who are we going to do for war heroes? I'm definitely going to give one war hero to Mayfair. Town Hall 9 war heroes are going to be Mayfair and Butter. Pretty obvious there. So Town Hall 10s, who are we going to give Town Hall 10 war heroes to? It's going to have to be some of the top guys, I think. There's Rhino. It's going to be between Rhino, Guernsey, Sabe, and Easy Rocking. Easy Rocking 3 and 4. Number 3. That was a tough base. I think number 4. Who did the toughest bases? I'd say Sabe and Peter. Yeah, I'm going to give the war heroes to Sabe and Peter because the bases they did were bases that nobody else really wanted to attack, I guess. And they were really tough. I'll go with that. Peter and Sabe. Guernsey and Easy as well did excellent jobs, but for this one, Peter, Sabe, Mayfair and Butter as war heroes. So yeah, that's it. Another win. Very nice one. Let's hope there's a lot more wins. 22 minutes for this video now, and hopefully this new recording software I have is going to work well. And yep, hope to see you all soon. And hopefully it's with another Clan War victory in a few days. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.